Is cheating always wrong?
I believe that the person that you cheated on needs to know. So if you're gonna say, like, I'm not gonna tell them because of psychological damage, it's honestly, you're not even taking accountability for what you did.
Yeah. Hold on.
You chose to cheat.
Disclosing that you cheated to the person that you cheated on is not accountability.
I know that this is just a preview, but I already have a problem with it. Disclosing that you cheated is not the entirety of taking accountability. Taking accountability, I think, is not just being upfront with the act to yourself and to your partner, but it's also making amends. Like, there's a physicality factor that I think to it. Admitting to it is just like a step.
The first prompt is I would forgive my partner if they cheated on me.
But I think forgiveness and keeping them in that same relationship are not synonymous. They go separately.
If you're truly forgiving, and forgiveness is something that comes with maturity and with life experience, it's the whole.
Okay, so my point blank opinion on cheating, it's wrong, and I will not forgive somebody who does that. I understand that having, like, when you're in the moment with somebody and sometimes hormones and whatever take over, that alone, I believe that that is a thing, but what that tells me is that you don't respect me enough to restrain yourself. You are willingly giving in. So it's all about, like, where am I in your psyche? And if I'm so low on that list that you allow yourself to give in to that temptation, whether it's like emotional infidelity, physical infidelity, it's just not acceptable to me. The fact that you couldn't even take the time to, like, dump me before you have that happen tells me everything that I need to know, honestly.
I cheated on him.
Yes.
And he forgave me, but I guess
I'm a Christian and I broke one of the 10 commandments. Ask me anything.
Okay, were there some areas that as a husband, I did not uphold what I needed to be?
Areas that you did not hold up to be. Okay, I've been cheated on before. I've also been in a situation where I don't feel like the relationship is just taking a nosedive, in that I don't feel like my needs are being met. Like, I've been there. But I still can't wrap my head around where you don't feel like your needs are being met without, like, making a better choice. Sure, there's a choice in you, like, trying to be selfish and keep the relationship, and also wanting to, like, not have that hard conversation, and maybe to a degree in the back of your mind you want to try and get back at them for, like, how they've been making you feel. It's just not an excuse. None of it's an excuse. I can understand everything, every problem that you're saying that you've been having in the relationship, but if you can't take the time to dump me before you go, and, like, where you could potentially be put in those situations of getting with somebody else, that just tells me all that I need to know about your character. That just tells me that you don't know what you want. It tells me that you have a fucked up sense of value of yourself and the people that you carry in your circle. Tells me that you just don't think things through completely because you willingly choose to obfuscate, like, the different levels of consequences, let alone recognizing that there are consequences to your actions. And you're just, like, not the right match for me.
When I have conversations around cheating, I really like to steer clear of the blame game, because the truth is, like, we all played a part.
Okay, wait.
The blame conversations around cheating, I really like to steer clear of the blame game, because the truth is, like, we all played a part.
I don't agree with steering clear of a blame game, because clearly there's, like, the conversation got brought about because of your inability to be a bigger person and start a conversation. Let's say that there's a relationship that's just taking a nosedive. It's not going places. Instead of healthily communicating that you're having a bad time, you take that out on your partner in the form of allowing yourself the temptation of another person, if we're talking physical cheating. So already the blame has shifted more towards that person who's perpetrating the whole thing. So the other partner could, not have any idea. They could be totally blindsided that you're like not having a good time on the ride. But they're not gonna know unless you say something. And then going off and deviating and instead internalizing that and turning that into energy that you could share with another person and cheat, that's just bad. If this lady is actually trying to say that the partner who is getting cheated on should have seen something coming, I think that's bullshit. That's clearly obfuscating from the root of the problem at all. You can recognize that, like, okay, I can see why you may have done this, but this just ultimately tells me that you don't care enough about me, about us, to start the conversation. You expected me to have this for you and to just magically like gain clairvoyance and like know what was to happen, or just hope that you do something before I did something. Just the expectation of some of these people on this panel of like, you're a bigger, more mature person if you forgive them and like build around that. I'm just not built that way. I just find it immensely disrespectful.
I actually have found healing in not forgiving people, and I think there's a difference. I think I choose not to forgive them and then eventually.
Forgiving and forgetting are two different things. If you find it in you over time, like me, to be able to forgive someone for doing that to you, that's one thing. Forgetting is a completely different thing, and it will ultimately change how our relationship is going to go forward. Spoiler alert, it's not going to go forward. Clearly, like, there are pitfalls to the situation that I didn't understand, you're not understanding, we're clearly not communicating. Like, there's layers to this that I would definitely dive in on further, but ultimately I would not want to continue on in that relationship because you don't respect me enough. You allowed yourself the temptation.
Emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating.
Ooh, this is an interesting one.
You're good, same deal. I'd love to shirk that off of you because what somebody else does in life is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. Mm-hmm. So like as far as I didn't meet physical needs of my partner, I think you can't really say that because if they weren't vocal about it, right?
If they weren't,
like that was the...
Again, it goes back to communication. Communication is paramount to a successful relationship. You cannot blame your inability to restrain yourself from sexually charged situations or emotionally sexually charged situations on like your partner not meeting your needs. That's a you problem, baby, okay? That's you failing to bring this topic, being a bigger, more mature person and bringing up this topic first. If you have a problem, you don't just sit and hope that it like marinates enough into like a juicy steak that which you both agree tastes great. If only one of you thinks that it's great, why wouldn't you speak up and say something to the waiter?
The other thing is, I don't understand. I'm not sure I even know what emotional cheating actually
Thank you.
is.
That's what
I'm sitting there like, what is emotional?
Let's just like break it down for a minute, okay? Let's just for a minute. Let's just educate ourselves. Right off, like at face value, like what do you think emotional cheating could be? Let's just spitball for a moment. Emotional cheating, emotions. I am where my emotions probably could be given, ergo my long-term partner or person that I'm talking to intimately. Maybe though they're not being given all to that person. Like maybe I'm being withholding and I'm giving them to somebody else. I'm cheating somebody else out of my insides, like my feelings, and I'm just like serving them up to an outside party on a silver platter. That's really not that hard.
For me, like my girlfriends and I've been cheated on and cheated, and it's all complex and complicated and based on a case basis. Until they take action, some kind of action where they're physically engaging with another person, they're not cheating on me as far as I'm concerned, because they're living life as a human being and they're just feeling and thinking and
Going back to my point about how you choose to conduct yourself. You should know how to conduct yourself accordingly. If you have experience in the dating game and like what it's like to be with somebody long term, or even like you're just dating them, like you're seeing them and it might develop into something, you should know at some point how to conduct yourself, how to position yourself in the world and in the presence of another. If you can't guide yourself well enough to see, like if you don't have enough emotional foresight to be able to see what you're doing could be construed or taken like differently by your partner, like could this potentially cause some levels of insecurity to bloom in my relationships garden? Can you not like look a little introspectively and ask questions like that? Is everything really just so hunky-dory simple in a lot of these people's minds that they're just like, it's whatever, man. It's like I just want my partner to feel and just like be, and I can't fault them for just being a human being. What?